Widows, which is the new film by Steve McQueen, Hunger, Shame, 12 Years a Slave, based on the Linda LaPlante TV series, TV miniseries from the 1980s, which transplants the action from London to modern-day Chicago. So we begin by intercutting moments of intimacy between Viola Davis's Veronica and Liam Neeson's Harry, and shots of a heist going wrong. So we're cutting between this kind of domestic intimacy, and then we see other characters as well, and this heist playing out in what appears to be sort of terrifying real time, shot from the back of the van getting away, people chasing, and the heist ends in fiery mayhem. Okay, so catastrophic. She's lost her husband, but that's just the beginning, because very soon after, she's approached by this hustler turned political upcomer candidate who says that basically her husband had stolen from him, and she, rather than he, now owes him $2 million, and she has 1 month to get it. The only thing that she has is the notebook that the husband left behind, in which he detailed his jobs, past and future, in which he laid out the plans for how the jobs would be done. So she is completely confounded. She's about to lose absolutely everything, more than what she's already lost, which is, the relationship that she had with her husband, which we see in flashbacks as being very loving, very tender, also touched with tragedy, as we find out in the past. So what she does is she contacts the other widows from the gang that were in this heist that ended in a huge fireball. And she says, look, I've got the plans for Harry's jobs. We have to pull off this heist. We have to get together. And they said, we can't. We've never done it before. She says, but we have no choice, because basically we're all in danger. We've all been left with nothing. This is the only thing we have. And gradually they all come to realise that in the disenfranchised state that they now are in, this is pretty much their only hope.
Our go date is in 3 days, the night of the debate. Now, all of our work is worth nothing if we don't move this money and fast. The notebook says $5 million. That's exactly the amount of money Mulligan was accused of taking in commission kickbacks. So over here we have $2 million, 20 Tupperware boxes, each box has $100,000 in $100 bills. It weighs 44 pounds. Now over here we have $2 million, 40 Tupperware boxes, each box has $50,000 in $50 bills. It weighs 88 pounds.
I feel like I'm in school. Tell me about it.
We gotta start thinking like professionals. We're in business together. There's not gonna be some cozy reunion. After this job, we're done. We have 3 days to look and move like a team of men. The best thing we have going for us is being who we are.
Why?
Because no one thinks we have the balls to pull this off.
I have to say, just hearing that again, having seen the film just sort of a few days ago, sends shivers down my spine, because I think it's so beautifully done. So there is so much to like about Widow. So I have to tell you, I loved it.
Great.
I just loved it. Okay, just so you know, sorry to destroy any tension.
I could tell from your body language it was going to be good.
Why? Because I'm sitting up straight.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it.
I am. So
it's like a starving man contemplating a golden syrup sponge and custard. That's what you look like.
I can't even imagine what that would be like. Okay, so firstly, ensemble cast is brilliant. I mean, yes, there are obvious standouts, Viola Davis, Elizabeth Debicki. Yes, they are, individually brilliant. But perhaps the best thing about it is that it's an ensemble cast, that every single role, no matter how big or small, is filled in a way that seems to be perfect. So Robert Duvall is the old school racist who's invoking Custer's last stand. Daniel Kaluuya, who is absolutely brilliant as this disenfranchised, violent psycho. Colin Farrell is this slimy politician whose surface is starting to crack. I mean, all these individual roles, you could have seen, you kind of think that as you look around the cast of the movie, you could cast your eye over this side and there are 3 people and you could have watched a film about them. And you cast your eye over this side and there are 4 or 5 people and you could have watched a movie about them. You happen to be watching the movie about these people in the middle, but they're surrounded by, I mean, it sounds like a very weird comparison, but in much the same way that with Mike Leigh's Peterloo, you did get the sense that everybody had a voice, everybody had a purpose, everybody had a life, everybody had a backstory, for want of a better word. I hate that word, but I know what it means. You get that sense when you don't think, and no one in here is a cipher. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the sense of location is brilliant. I love a movie which is rooted in a place. I love a movie which makes you think you are here, okay? This isn't anywhere near where you live, maybe, or maybe it is, but this is where you are. And what the film does, and brilliant camera work by Sean Bobbitt, is it captures this disparity between to make a Heaven 17 reference, between penthouse and pavements, between wealth and poverty, living absolutely cheek by jowl. There are shots in which the camera comes down from sort of ritzy penthouse apartments and comes down through the elevated railway and down onto street level, where, you know, their divisions are absolutely rife. There's one extraordinary scene when Colin Farrell is delivering this political speech, and he gets into his car and he drives from this area, which is very, very run down, tenements projects, and he drives in his car, or he's driven in his car, to another location, which is ritzy, you know, grassy lawns and all the rest of it. And it happens in real time. And the camera is on the bonnet of the car. And what you generally do is you'd be showing the characters inside, because the minute he gets into the car, he starts saying things that he wouldn't say when he was outside the car. But the camera's on the bonnet of the car, and the car's got a reflecting window. So you're not really seeing them. What you're seeing is the outside. And you're seeing the fact that in this very short drive, in the space of time that this conversation lasts, they're driving from this area of great poverty and great social deprivation to this area of manicured lawns and, you know, and walled gardens. And it does it beautifully. It's not making a big deal out of it, but it's absolutely saying this is where you are. Third thing, script is co-written by Gillian Flynn. Who did you interview Gillian Flynn for Gone Girl? Yeah,
I did.
Super sharp, right?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Okay. Well, you can tell.
Well, you know, wow, if you got her and him,
exactly,
then that's a good team.
I know. So, you know, they must have just sat down and said, okay, let's just knock this out of the ballpark, shall we? And the writing is really sharp. But what I like about the writing is it's taught rather than talky. There isn't a lot, I mean, despite that thing that you heard there isn't a lot of people sitting down explaining the plot to each other. In fact, the plot's quite elliptical, because the characters, when they first find the notebook, they don't know what the plans for the job are. They don't understand them. They don't know what job they are looking at the plans for. They spend a lot of time wandering around going, okay, what is this? I think, is it a safe? Is it a building? Where is it? You know, so they're literally trying to find their way through it. But what they don't do is do that thing about, I'm sorry, just recap me on the last 5 minutes of where we are. They just do it all on the hoof, so you're expected to catch up. Then, beyond that, I did that series, Secrets of Cinema, and one of the first programs we did was about heist movies, and it was about how heist movies have riffs, they have beats, they have, you know, familiar themes, like a blues tune. And the great thing about this is it's made by filmmakers who understand that riff, but they also understand that the pleasure of Widows is inverting certain things in it, but also playing the root note, playing the tune. So if you're a heist movie fan, and if you've liked things like, you know, Rififi and maybe even the Ocean's movies, all those thrills that the heist movie gives you, they're all there, but they're all there in a format which is more gritty and more grounded than perhaps you might expect. If you compare it to something like Set It Off, it's done that whole thing about it's empowering, because what it's doing is taking characters that you wouldn't expect to be front and center in this kind of movie and putting them front and center in it and saying, okay, well, what does the world look like from their point of view? The other thing is that the rhythm of the movie itself is really great, because the movie has this kind of cumulative pace. That it starts off, you know, as I said, there's the heist is going, this is the heist that goes wrong is going on, but it's intercutting with these very, very intimate scenes. And then what happens during the course of the movie, you remember in, we were talking about I think in Dunkirk, about that rising sense of anxiety. Well, you get that happening similarly through this, because the pace of the editing subtly picks up the pace of the story. And so you feel that the whole thing starts very, very gently and almost imperceptibly to barrel towards something. And most importantly, even in the sequences which are quite clearly heist movie scenes, you never lose sight of the characters. You never lose sight of the fact that these are real people, real women with real problems and real lives, attempting to deal with real situations by doing something that is so far out of their own experience that they keep being told, this is not your world. This is not your world that you're in. So I thought it was great. I thought it was terrific cinema, you know, from the point of view, I want to go and see a great movie, right? Well, you know, it's something which is going to engage me. Great. I thought it was great performances with really, really fine actors, all clearly thinking, look at the company we're in. Look, wherever you look, there's everybody you want to be in a film with is here. Let's be really, really great. And I think it's properly empowering and and radical in what it's doing, but without ever giving you the sense that that's what it's being. I thought it was terrific.